Well, that brings us to weather time, and it has been pretty grey and wet, as we saw with Matt outside the stadium earlier, hasn't it, Ruth?
It's just been one of those days. It just feels like the weather has never really quite got going, has it? It is autumn after all. So as far as this week is concerned, I'm sure you'll be very glad to hear nothing too exceptional, nothing too exciting. It's just all very dull and, well, frankly, all very autumnal, and some beautiful scenes out there at the moment. So the general setup then is unsettled weather at times. By the time we get to the end of the week, you'll notice the winds really picking up the pace. We could see gales developing in many areas. However, also turning increasingly, well, I would say warmer. I think perhaps less cold is probably the best way of putting it. Well, thanks to our friend, yes, you've heard it, the jet stream. Cold air at the moment, I'm sure you'll have noticed at the moment, effectively gets nudged back up to the north where it belongs by the jet stream and a ribbon of slightly warmer air. So by the time we get to around about the middle of the week, which is where temperatures look set to peak, we could see highs of 17 or 18 degrees. Round about 14 or 15 is average for this time of the year, so effectively veering from one extreme to the other at the moment. But as I said, nothing too eventful on the weather front, you'll be glad to hear. So let's take a look at that in a little more detail. Busy, but not eventful enough for any warnings or anything like that at the moment. But there is that little bit of wet weather we're keeping an eye on Wednesday. But other than that, all is good.
Just a bit yuck.
Yeah, yucky.
Yucky,
there we go. It's all very grey and gloomy out there at the moment. Lots of low cloud, misty, murky conditions. And over the next few hours, the winds will start to pick up the pace too. Could see a few clear skies developing from time to time. A largely dry night with temperatures remaining at around 10 or 11 degrees. So for some areas, not really dropping from daytime values. It is a relatively mild night. Mild and murky as we wake to tomorrow morning. But fingers crossed, things should start to cheer up as we head through the course of the morning. A lot of that low cloud and mist will start to lift. Fingers crossed we should see some decent spells of sunshine as the afternoon wears on. The winds again quite brisk, and we could see a few showers just starting to push into parts of Pembrokeshire, the far southwest, later into the afternoon. Now the wind direction is quite key, as I've been saying. We've got a shift in that jet stream, allowing much milder air to start to work its way in. So temperatures tomorrow topping out at 15 or 16. That's probably 3 or 4 degrees milder, warmer still than it has been out there today. So it's a shift, if you like, in the right direction. Now we've got wet weather that'll start to work its way in through Tuesday night, and by the time we wake to Wednesday, it is going to be thoroughly unsettled, is probably the best way of putting it. We could see some really heavy downpours. There we are, that's Wales effectively underneath the blues and greens there. Thundery downpours for some, really miserable conditions, not pleasant. But on a flip side, you can see that milder air. We're looking at highs of 17 or 18. Across the southeast, we could top out at 19 or 20 in Celsius, which for the time of year is about 5 or 6 degrees above the average. So even though it's going to turn milder, it will turn increasingly windy, with gales possible by the time we get to the end of the week as well.